The Madman! Today, we've got a torrent of new cards from Ashes of Outland. Let's start with something so ridiculous that I can't believe they've done this. Imprisoned Antane, 5 mana 10/6 demon. Dormant for 2 turns. When this awakens, deal 10 damage randomly split among all enemies. So let's set the stage, remind you all how Dormant works. The way Dormant works is you play it on the field, non-interactable, it's kind of like the darkness. Your next turn, it's 1 out of 2, doesn't do anything still. Turn after that, it's 2 out of 2, wakes up, and does its effect when waking up, and then you can't attack with it, but 3 turns later after you play it, you can attack with it. Have you heard of Avenging Wrath? That card costs 6 mana, and it dealt 8 damage, randomly split among all enemies. It was often used as a finisher in aggressive paladin decks. So what if you had a card that cost 1 less mana and then did 2 extra damage than Avenging Wrath? That might be pretty good. But what if you also got a 10/6 with it? Ah! Ah! It actually synergizes with itself too, because after it awakens, it deals damage and often clears a very big chunk of the opponent's board. And then it's actually very possible to attack for 10 on turn 8 with it. Very scary. This is where I get to talk a little bit about my Hearthstone Summit experience too. I experimented a lot with Demon Hunter, and I mostly played a bunch of mid-range Demon Hunter. This card is made for that mid-range deck. Like, maybe it's a little too slow for the aggressive decks, but I think that maybe aggressive Demon Hunter still runs this because it's such an absurd effect and big finisher. But mid-range Demon Hunter, certainly. It just wakes up and then you get immense, tremendous value. It's really good. I'm going to give the pre-game 5-star rating on this. I don't even have to wait for the whole set. I'm that confident on Imprisoned Antane. Bow down to your Demon Hunter overlords. OP, OP. Prepare for despair. Soul Split for Demon Hunter. 4 mana, choose a friendly demon, summon a copy of it. 1 mana discount on Faceless. Don't really see a use for it. I guess Demon Hunters had to have at least some bad cards at least. But it's meant for the big Demon Hunter decks. Okay, good luck with that. Yesterday we saw Rogue's first secret, Ambush. And it looked like, well, if there's some secret synergy, maybe Ambush could become good enough. It's already pretty solid. Well, here you go, Blackjack Stunner. 1 mana, 1/2, Battlecry. If you control a secret, return a minion to its owner's hand. It costs 2 more. That's a 1 mana targeted, immediate freezing trap, and you get a 1/2 with it. Yeah, that's a pretty good secret synergy card. I suspect that Tempo Rogues might be running a little bit of a secret package with Blackjack Stunner then. We haven't seen the other secrets from Rogue, if there are any, but I would certainly expect there to be more than 1 secret this set. Shaman's got a pretty strong spell coming up. Torrent, 5 mana, deal 8 damage to a minion, cost 3 less if you cast the spell last turn. So this is intended for control decks with a bunch of spells. You play a spell, next turn you can torrent 2 mana to basically assassinate a guy. 8 damage is enough damage that basically kills anything, right? So that's pretty solid. Only reason why Torrent might not be played is because maybe heavy control shaman isn't good enough. But that is a perfect fit with Lady Vashj. Lady Vashj is one of those primes that has the spell damage. The Vashj Prime card wants you to run a deck with many spells in it. It makes you want to play a control deck. Shamans are also getting a different package, a little bit of an evolve package going on. Bogstruck Clacker, 3 mana, 3/3, Battlecry, transform adjacent minions into random minions that cost 1 more. And Bogspine Knuckles, 5 mana weapon, it's a 4/2 weapon. After your hero attacks, transform your minions into random ones that cost 1 more. I think of these two, the Bogspine Knuckles is better than the Crab. Usual mana cost for a 4/2 weapon is 4, and for 1 more mana you get 2 uses of evolve. That's pretty sweet. Play it with a bunch of other cards that are good to evolve. Bogstruck Clacker, on the other hand, seems a little bit slow for that. Part of evolve's appeal is that it only costs 1 mana, but having to float 3 extra mana to evolve the stuff is pretty tough. And also, Evolve can be played really cheaply to follow up, whereas Bog Spine Knuckles, you need to spend turn 5 playing it. So that might also be a bit too slow. So I'm a little bit uncertain about this archetype, but we'll see. From Priest, we've got a Dragon Maul Overseer. 3 mana 2/2. At the end of your turn, give another friendly minion +2/+2. Bigger brother of Shadow Ascendant. If you're running a Zoo Priest, Dragon Maul Overseer looks pretty good. I thought they were moving away from this Zoo Priest archetype, so I'm a little bit confused, but okay, sure. Priests are strong at buffs, so I guess this is understandable. We'll have to see if Priest gets enough early game minions. Shadow Council, a Warlock 1 mana spell. Replace your hand with random demons, give them +2/+2. Is this card a meme or a dream? One thing that I really enjoyed, I did get the chance to test this card out a bit, is you put this in your handlock deck. Perhaps in your handlock deck you also run the Dark Portal. The idea is to get a big hand, be playing control cards, maybe a few like really niche cards that are only good in really specific situations, because then you can replace them with Shadow Council. And by the way, this set's demons are pretty good. Imprisoned demons are one of the themes of this set, and you can get imprisoned and tame off of Shadow Council. So I guess the idea of this deck would be you control the board, you keep tapping, you have a pretty full hand, you play the Shadow Council, and then you have a huge hand of demons, which are +2/+2. Is it a meme? Is it a dream? We'll try it out at some point. And then finally, we have Moe Argh Artificer, Hearthstone's first pure 2 mana 2/4 with like no conditions. All minions take double damage from spells. Strong baseline stats, but as the trade-off, it's easier to deal with spells. Backstab does deal with Moe Argh Artificer. But where will Moe Argh Artificer be played? Maybe it's going to be played in heavy control decks, maybe in that spell-heavy shaman deck. Cards with lifesteal are really sweet. The Demon Hunter can I-beam for 6 damage and heal for 6. There's a lot of interesting uses for that card, alongside the fact that you can just play it as a 2 mana 2/4 in the early game. Pretty much the only requirement is you want to be playing it in a deck where you have spells that can key off of Moe Argh Artificer well. So yeah, those look to be a particularly strong set of cards that were revealed. Stay tuned for more cool cards. By the way, my personal card reveal is coming up very, very soon.